this part of the tutorial, we're going to learn how to work with the data designer in Oracle Application Builder Cloud Service. What we're going to do is we're going to add a field that has the total amount of donations, and we're also going to add a validation to the donation field. So to do both of those operations, we're going to use the data designer view, and you can get to it by going over to the menu at the top left and picking Data Designer. Over here you can see the objects you already created. So you can see the organization objects, you can see the organization types, and if you expand the organization object, you'll see the child donation object. For each one of those, you can see a set of properties that you can modify. You can also go and see the specific fields in there, and you can even go and see the data for each one of those objects. So let's look, for example, at the donation object, okay, and the list of fields here. And remember, we have the how much field. And we can actually mark this and press the little pencil icon to edit properties of this field. Okay? And one of the things we can do is we can add a validation rule. There's a bunch of validation rules built in. One of them is range. So let's define a specific range for our contributions and donations. Okay. So this is how easy it is to add a validation. You can then basically change other properties if you need to, or you can just click the save option at the top to save the changes. While we're here, let's do another change. We can actually go to the organization objects, and we're going to create a new field here. So this field will be the total number or total amount of donations that we had. So we're going to give it a name. We're going to choose the type and press the little V icon. And then we're going to select this field, okay, in order to edit its properties. So again, pressing the little pencil, we can scroll down to define this field as an aggregated from related object data, and we'll define a new aggregation that goes over the donations and pick up the total function. And what we actually want to total is the how much field in that object. And this is how easy it is to define a total field. We're going to click Save, and now we have those two fields. We can add them to our user interface. Okay, so let's go back to the page designer again through the menu, and we can add a field, okay, by going and clicking on the Data tab. We'll see the organization object that is already here and the new field over there, and we can just drag and drop it into our display like that. You can change properties for this field if you want to change the label, the title, things like that. You can easily do it from here. Okay. Let's run our little page. You might need to do a refresh if the total doesn't show up. But as you can see here, we actually get the total for each one of the organizations, showing up the total donations. Okay. Remember that we also added a validation on one of the donations, so on the how much field. So let's see if this actually works. So we're going to create a new donation here. And we're going to put an amount that is too high, so beyond our range. And we can see the validation immediately being applied with the error message. And we can go in and of course put in a valid value for this field, and then no issue, we can leave the field, can choose the other one and save the data. So this is how easy it is to add a field and how to do aggregation and calculations.